We're back here in the final segment of our program, the platform this evening with Captain Tellis, Bethel. I have done other programs on the conch in the Bahamas, but on the meat of the conch, not necessarily the conch shells. And is it a conch? Getting the conch, is that a business that is in decline, or is it still pretty much a vibrant business?
Some studies I've read indicate that it is in decline, and that is why you see persons such the agencies such as Bahamas National Trust. They started this conservation program to help him become more minded as to the damage that could happen through overuse or overeating of that conch. So I know in some countries it's on the endangered species list, and so I guess it warrants us now to do what we can to help preserve that important part of the Bahamian diet.
In the southeastern islands of the Bahamas, I am told that you have larger conchs than you have, say, in the northwestern Bahamas.
Yeah, personally, I've come across much larger conchs, especially areas that are not frequented by people. And it's amazing how large that they can get. Also, I've seen, in similar fashion, I've seen crawfish. I'm reminded, probably in the 70s, I saw in the National Geographic magazine a young boy holding up a crawfish, which was about 4.5 feet long from the tail to the head.
4.5 feet long?
From the tail to the head. Now, I thought that would have been, I said, But then I remember back as early in the 1980s, spearfishing myself in areas that were not frequented by Bahamians in Kesal Bank area, and actually coming across, perhaps not as large, but I could see they were large enough to see where that connection, where it could actually have taken place.
Is that right? Being a Defense Force officer and especially operating at your level has given you a perspective of the Bahamas that a Bahamian would not get. You like I said earlier on, you have a deep appreciation for the Bahamas in all of its facets, eh?
Yeah, and more so, as I begin to look into our history and who we really are and where we came from as a people, the appreciation, it grows stronger. And then to have a motto that says, God, our heritage, and we have a heritage that that extends beyond these islands to embrace the entire Americas. I mean, and the opportunities that you've had, I really matured a whole lot. Joining the Defense Force, I knew nothing about leadership and management and discipline as I should have in growing up. But the Defense Force for me became almost like a transformation chamber, a manufacturing plant. And so going forward, one of the things that we should be aware of in the Defense Force, and by all means we should always maintain the standard we need to, is, I'm reminded of the Exuma Land and Sea Park, where they said, where they decided to make a land and sea park, and it was realized that the fish population was being depleted in the surrounding areas. Several years later, they found that it was being replenished as a result of the land and sea park. Well, the Defense Force is almost like a land and sea park in the sense that we have men and women that are being trained with the quality training. We have our challenges, but by and large, we have a standard, and we have opportunities for people to grow and develop. But the quality persons will eventually be filtering out of the Defense Force and back into mainstream society to help rebuild the pillars of society. And so the Defense Force is a gem for the entire Bahamas in the sense of it being this leadership manufacturing plant where persons can re-enter mainstream society and rebuild it.
Do you think that the Defense Force is underutilized in that regard, in terms of bringing about, imbuing our people with a sense of discipline? Because you are a disciplined force.
The Defense Force is perhaps is engaged in every major facet of the Bahamian society.
Is it really?
Yeah. if you think about, for example, the urban renewal project, we have persons involved in that. We have persons that are assisting with the guarding of dangerous criminals in the prison system. We have persons on the family islands. We have persons engaged in our youth development program, the Rangers. We have, for example, just over we had a summer camp with 600 persons attending. You know, so every level of society, you find the Defense Force members are engaged with helping to bring some discipline and quality training to bear in the lives of people in our society. We have the Defense Force band. I mean, the amount of performances that they engage in, you know, bringing about the entertainment, the fun side of life. We have men that are serving on U.S. Coast Guard vessels as well, including and as well as our vessels at sea, away from home and family. Persons stationed on the family islands, pretty much engaged with the local community, working with the Maritime Cadet Corps program, so that working towards employment in that field from the commercial sector. So the Defense Force has been extensively used to help bring about a better Bahamas.
I'm gonna have to ask you this question though. How is it that a Haitian sloop is able to traverse our waters from the northern part of Haiti and land at South Beach or Prince George Dock undetected?
Yeah, that's been an age-old problem that we have had. You know, there is the idea that, hey, these are wooden vessels, hard to detect by radar and so forth. They travel, they sail by night, anchor somewhere in the day, where they're not easily detected, you know, blend with the rocks and the keys and so forth. That's one of the things. It may be a situation where, for example, you may have a vessel assigned doing some search and rescue operation somewhere else, and it causes a gap to be opened, you know. That has happened. We've had the reality of the situation is you have U.S. vessels that actually patrol off the north coast of Haiti. And sometimes with our persons on board. All right. So what it does speak to from time to time too is this wide expanse of water. You know, over 100,000 square miles of water. It could be persons also feeding information to others as to when to move, when not to move. And so all of these areas have to be checked and addressed and to see where best we can close these gaps.
So you think Bahamians are complicit in the whole...
that possibility exists. But we can't just throw it off as it's totally because of that. We have to make sure there's no failing on our part as well. Wherever we need to look at it, you know. And one of the things that we were challenged with, and that gap is closing, is really having vessels to patrol some of these areas. And then bearing in mind too that you have search and rescue, you have the poaching situation, you have the drug smuggling. So you have to be looking at all these different facets. And sometimes we need our men to go out there and repair aids to navigation so people can navigate safely and so forth, you know. And so it's just not one thing. And so the government has approved the strategic plan to decentralize the operations of the Defense Force, whereby we have our main bases in the north, in the central, and the southern Bahamas, so that it will give us a permanent presence in these areas to quickly respond to those threats to security.
What kind of facility do you have in Agua now?
Right now we have a small base there, up to about 20 persons on average. Is our plan. We have a patrol craft that's assigned there as well, and our plan is to actually get to the place where we have aircraft stationed permanently there. Of course, you have to grow with the resources that you do have. And so that's the plan going forward. The same thing we want to have for gunpoint. You know, think of the Bahamas as Inagua is perhaps the right foot and gunpoint is the left foot. So they are apart. Between them, you're looking at about 120 miles gap in between. So you're going to need a presence in gunpoint to be, that's Ragged Island Chain, to be able to look at the banks, and something in Inagua to look at that sector as well.
Tellis Bethel, it's a pleasure to speak with you today because we've learned a whole lot from you. And you are one Defense Force officer who has a deep appreciation of your country, the Bahamas.
Thank you, sir.
And we just hope that people like yourself would use radio and television to teach Bahamians on how to appreciate the Bahamas.
Sir, yeah, I think I'll take you up on that one day.
Very good.
Soon.
Very good. And once again, congratulations for organizing the Clarion Call for Peace, entering the Guinness Book of Record for having the most people blowing the conch shell at one time.
Yes, sir.
Next time you're going to do it when?
Well, it depends. I like to establish certain trends and allow other people to get the opportunity to move forward with them. But I certainly will provide any assistance that they need.
But you can't allow another country to
another country.
To replace the Bahamas.
No. We're talking
in the Guinness Book.
Talking about another Bahamian to keep it going. You know.
Yes.
So we'll look into that.
Good. Thank you so very much for being here today.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay.
Appreciate
All the
it.
best. Yes, sir.
Thank you very much for watching and listening to our program today with Captain Tellis Bethel. Good evening, everyone.